Well, hello, everyone, and welcome here to Amherst. Nick Anastas, Lindsay Holt with you, getting set for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks, a championship rematch from a season ago as defending champion Portsmouth comes to Souhegan. Two rival programs and two rosters full of players that likely will continue on to the NCAA level. Some real star power here, experience on the sidelines. This one has the making of perhaps an instant early season classic as the Clippers and Sabres get set to clash. Nick Anastas with you. Let me bring in Lindsay Holt, her first broadcast here with us on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Lindsay, of course, a former standout at Bishop Girton and at Holy Cross. Lindsay, welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to get it going today.
Yeah, well, you couldn't ask for a better matchup, right? A rematch from last year's championship.
Indeed.
We've got a little bit of a chilly weather here. Temperature just dipped below 50 degrees, but not too bad as we get the stick check going on the far side. Any early season jitters, you think, here in just the second week of the season, second game for each of these two teams as they both come in with a 1-0 record, but how much is it still a work in progress, I guess is my question, this early in the campaign?
I definitely think this is still really early, but I feel like this game will be a really telltale sign of kind of the off-season work that both these teams probably put in. So this is probably a great benchmark game for both these teams for the beginning of the season to see it through the end.
Of course, Portsmouth was a winner last season, winning their second straight championship. 12-7 was the final score there. I'd imagine there's some motivation on the Souhegan side, a little payback perhaps for being on the wrong end of that championship score.
Yeah, I bet this game has kind of been on their calendar since the schedules came out, so I bet they're both amped up to kind of make a statement win, Souhegan especially probably wanting to prove that they're coming for some blood this year.
Is that a real thing, or is that kind of a media-driven narrative? Or as a player, a former player, are there certain teams you get up for, so to speak?
I feel like going in, especially like early on in the season, once you see the schedule, you're like, oh, we're playing like a rematch or like a playoff game early in the season. So I feel like those stakes are pretty high from the start. At least that's how kind of I saw it when I was a player. So I definitely think that's probably on the minds of all these girls this year.
All right, we've coming up on game time here. Bottom of the hour. JV game already in the books. And you see some of the starters coming out. Some keys here. What do we look for, Lindsay? What typically decides a game like this where both teams are loaded with talent?
I feel like the basics, a lot of people will say, like, one thing is important, especially after playing college lacrosse, like the draw control is a big thing, and I'm sure with such a high-scoring game, like 12-7's pretty high scoring. That's a lot of goals for each team, so I feel like the draw controls are important because possession matters, especially in high school where there is no shot clock yet, so you kind of have to earn your possessions from the start, so it'll be interesting to see how the draw goes for both these teams today.
How about some players to watch? Give us a couple names here before we get started.
Well, I kind of said this coming in. I think the two twins, Emery and Regan on Portsmouth, I'm way out of the game now, especially in high school, and I feel like I've heard these girls' names since I was at BG still when they were in probably middle school. So I think I'm very interested to see them today. And on Souhegan, Izzy Stevenson, I played against her sister in high school, and because she went to BU, so it was Patriot League games, I played against her, and she was super talented, super great, so I'm sure her sister is the same. So I'm excited to see them as well.
Weather factor in here a little on the colder side, or does that go out the window when the game starts?
Honestly, I was thinking about it. None of the girls, they're all wearing probably long sleeves, but none of them look to be wearing leggings, so I feel like that's a good sign. And I think this is like perfect weather because they'll get a majority of the game in before the sun really goes down. So hopefully, and they'll get a little under the lights action, which is always fun. So I think it's probably the best for them. Probably a little colder for the fans, but that's all right.
As a player, did you like playing right after school, 4 o'clock, or a little more prime time later in the evening?
I think 5:30 was like the best time because it gave you some time to kind of like get out of school mode and like actually like focus. Because I know the 4 o'clock games kind of you went from like math class to the field. It was kind of a quick turnaround. So I definitely think this is the best time.
All right, Souhegan in their home whites coming onto the field here slowly. Head coach McKinley Spordoni on the home sideline here. And, of course, JoJo Kerrigan on the Clippers sideline. Both teams 1-0. As I mentioned, victories coming last week during opening week statewide. Portsmouth in their road Maroons. The two-time defending champion looking for a third straight in Division I come June. Souhegan hoping to get right back to the championship round after falling just short a season ago. Players are in the draw circle, the officials are ready, and we are underway here in Amherst. And that is Ginger Vinciguara, one of the many veterans of this championship unit. Going to win the first face-off here and give Portsmouth the opening crack. And as you mentioned, Lindsay, that was one of your keys, right? The draw circle.
Indeed. So Portsmouth came up with that pretty clean, so that's a good start for them.
What are we seeing here defensively from Souhegan on their first possession?
It looks like they're just in a bit of a man for now, which is pretty common, I'd say, in high school. I feel like college, a lot of the teams are transitioning to a zone. That just is a very difficult thing to get down cleanly, so a man is always good.
Here's Reagan Lawton, the junior, finds Vinciguara in a crowd, and she puts it home for the opening goal. Just 41 seconds into the contest, it's 1-0 Portsmouth.
It's a really good start for Portsmouth.
Pretty pass and a tough catch on the back end for the senior midfielder, Ginger Vinciguara. So some good execution out of the gate here on the road has got to make head coach JoJo Kerrigan happy, right?
And Ginger was the one that also won that draw for Portsmouth, so she's off to a great start for the Clippers.
Of course, we do play 4 quarters here, 4 12-minute quarters. And we're 41 seconds in. Souhegan in an early 1-0 hole. This one goes skyward. And that's Emmy Curran in the circle for Souhegan. Nearly had it. Instead, it ends up on the wing with Portsmouth as Maddie Houghton, member of this 2026 senior class, helping out. Portsmouth looking for the clear. Splitting defenders at midfield is Haley Stalkamp. Stalkamp stripped. Taken the other way by Avery Curran, one of 2 Currans on the Sabres roster. Souhegan in business here for the first time on the attack, trailing 1-0. Going to try 2 players behind the cage here and now pump it back out to the wing. Souhegan hits the reset button. They want to give Libby Kennedy a touch, one of their standout juniors. Her classmate, Izzy Stevenson, takes over with running room. Going to go right at Reagan Lawton. Lawton stays with her. Really tough pressure here from Portsmouth as Souhegan takes their time. Kennedy near side wing. Avery Curran takes over. Picked up off the switch, tries to go back door. That pass gets through the zone on the ground, but kept in bounds for the moment. Ultimately, the whistle blows. Good effort by Lene Hickman trying to keep it alive. Now Portsmouth off and running the other way. 1-0 Clippers just over 2 minutes in. Souhegan's Ride able to produce a turnover last possession. This time, though, Stalkamp able to swim upstream. Ridden out of bounds. The officials are going to keep it the same way. A little bit of a push, perhaps, by the defender, Hickman. Taking over the top. Here's Emery Lawton, going to slow to a jog. Well, the Clippers able to execute well on their first trip here as Souhegan defense continues to communicate. Is it important early on, especially in the first couple of trips, everybody gets a touch?
Yeah, I definitely think, especially because this game is such a big rivalry, it seems that everyone gets a touch to get the nerves out, especially now it is a little cold, get the hands warm. So definitely just seeing what the defense is giving you and seeing the pressure is definitely important these early sets.
Well, goaltender came out of the cage for a moment. Slide comes over. They force Emery Lawton to give it up. And now Reagan Lawton goes middle, hooks up with Vinciguara again. This time the shot is wide. That's the goaltender, Molly Benson. Senior, one of 2 goalies on the roster for Souhegan. Trying to direct traffic defensively there. And we'll do so again here. Meanwhile, ball comes out, but we get a whistle. And it looks like a free position shot on the way here for Souhegan's junior, Reagan Lawton. Lawton, as the officials make sure she's got enough room. Crouch down, ready to fire here. Goes low, and it's waved aside. First save for Benson. Keeps it a 1-0 game. Good hustle both ways, and Souhegan's going to get possession. Now Benson helping out on the clear, exits the cage, and was bumped a bit there by Georgia Bouvier, one of the Portsmouth attackers. Long pass here, doesn't find its target, but there's Kennedy to scoop up the loose ball. Souhegan completes the clear. Well, just a good old-fashioned one-on-one save there a moment ago by Benson. That's got to give her team a lift.
Yeah, that was a great save, especially from an attacker that looked like she was going to run in and shoot it just like she did, but that's a great momentum change for the Sabres. Hopefully they can translate it to offense.
Meanwhile, what are we seeing here from Portsmouth defensively?
It looks like they're in some sort of a backer zone, and they've executed it well so far in the last set, and they got the ball back. So, like I said earlier, a zone is kind of a very difficult set to play, and it takes a lot of discipline from all the defenders. So, especially with a backer, with that extra person who's like mirroring the ball, the person with the ball. So, they've been doing a good job so far. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Communication's got to be key, right, in a good zone?
Definitely, because you're always kind of guarding like a person and a half, so not everyone's responsible for just one person. Everyone's everywhere, really. So communication is definitely a key factor.
Meanwhile, tough catch here on the near side wing for Emmy Curran, but she recovers as Portsmouth their patient approach here. Going to cycle it behind the net, nearly an interception by the defender Ava Brunel, one of the younger Portsmouth players, the sophomore. Meanwhile, pass out in front. Meredith Heimrach surrounded, stripped. Heimrach recovers in the far corner. And now a whistle and a violation here against Portsmouth.
Yeah, that's one thing with a backer defense. You can go for interceptions like Portsmouth just tried, but also the backer just needs to be wary of getting in shooting space, getting in the lane.
Meanwhile, a bouncing attempt from Kennedy on the free position shot goes wide. Foot race is won by the Clippers as Brunel gets there first. Brunel now on the restart will look to find some room on the near sideline. Good defense here on the ride by Abby Gray, one of the youngsters for Souhegan, just a sophomore. Meanwhile, Stahlkamp showing the speed there on the far sideline, completes the clear for Portsmouth. So we've crossed the midway point of this first quarter with the Clippers out in front 1-0. Ginger Vinciguara lit the lamp on the opening minute, or during the opening minute, to give the visitors the lead.
I have a feeling this game's going to go down to the wire.
Low scoring, you think, or? I
think they're going to get going soon, but I feel like it's just going to be like a one-goal back and forth, like tennis match.
Defenses have looked good so far.
They have, and Souhegan's ride has given a lot of pressure onto Portsmouth.
Vinciguara aims high. That one sails wide. Backed up by Bouvier. Inside of 5 minutes here, first quarter. Bouvier picked up on the switch by Marley Bacon, one of the senior leaders for Souhegan. Clippers continue to play on the perimeter. Emery Lawton runs to her right. Defender right there on her hip, trying to shake her off. It's good defense there by Stevenson. Or is that Avery Curran? That's 7 Curran, not 1 Stevenson. Now back near side. Reagan Lawton. Now Vinciguara tries to make it happen. To her left, draws a slide. That one batted down. Emmy Curran in the mix there for Souhegan defensively. Vinciguara able to recover. Now Reagan Lawton to her right, goes back door. Tough catch. Shot there by Stahlkamp, sent back. Stahlkamp lost her footing. Ball ends up with a goaltender in a crowd. Benson, a couple of saves here in this first quarter. A good outlet pass as well is going to spark a break here for the home team. Kennedy, right side. Avery Curran with numbers. Back to Kennedy. Thinking about it. Ball betrays her. Curran picks it back up, fires, and scores. Pretty shot there for Avery Curran. Sophomore goes upstairs to make this 1-1.
I think that started with Molly Benson on the back end going defense to offense transition. Those are some of the greatest goals that can come from a great save. So hopefully she can keep it up and they can keep executing.
Got the quick outlet pass, right, to spark that break?
That's key. The faster you can get it out, the faster you can get down before the defense sets up, and that's exactly what Souhegan seemed to do, and they put it away.
Meanwhile, a little bit of talk on the backside for Portsmouth. Sage Boussier, the senior goaltender, veteran, multi-year starter, having a word with a couple of her defenders. So we got a 1-1 game here inside of 4 minutes first quarter. Portsmouth has captured both draws so far, but this one goes to Souhegan. Stevenson going to pump the brakes here, draw out the defender, lower the shoulder to protect the ball as the Sabres look for their first lead here as we move towards 3 minutes here in the first quarter. These two teams met in last year's state championship game. It was won by Portsmouth. 12-7 the final score there. And a lot of folks in the know have predicted a rematch. So this may be an early season preview of what's to come in June. They're number 1 and number 2 in the New Hampshire High School Sports preseason poll. Both teams officially 1-0 in NHIAA play, and we have another violation here.
Yeah, that looked like another shooting space call, and this has been a call that's developed a lot through college. This year it's totally different, and it's a flag now, and it's
going to lead to a Souhegan goal as Lanai Hickman lights the lamp. Went low that time. Souhegan back-to-back goals, and suddenly it's 2-0.
That's got to be one thing Portsmouth needs to be conscious about is their backer getting out of the way, getting out of the shooting lane to prevent these 3 seconds, because it seems like Souhegan's gotten a couple of those and they're starting to execute them now, so they just have to tighten it up.
So back-to-back goals, a little over a minute apart. Lanai Hickman with a free position shot, able to give her team a 2-1 lead. Stevenson hoping to even things in the draw circle against Vince Aguara, and does. Help from the wing there by Stevenson. She's going to slow it down.
The nice thing about high school is there's no shot clock, so realistically, Souhegan could kind of eat the clock if they wanted to until the next quarter, but in college you're working a little faster than that to beat the clock.
Is that something difficult to adjust to as we see an interception?
It can be, but I think it's also nice for defense. It kind of gives them motivation to play their hardest defense for 60 seconds, because in high school you could play for 3 minutes straight, and that gets tiring. And on offense you kind of get tired working and cutting a lot, so it definitely helps.
So after the interception by Haley Stallkamp, Portsmouth is going to slow it down for the final 100 seconds here of this first quarter. Both defenses have been airtight through the first 12 minutes. As Emery Lawton can't find any room. Backdoor Bouvier, good dodge and score. That's Georgia Bouvier making the most out of a limited space there near the net. Tough catch and finish, and we're tied at 2.
Yeah, that was a great move. Souhegan's been playing very good 1v1 defense, so Bouvier was just able to kind of cut under that and dip it over Benson's head.
Member of this talented junior class. Bouvier able to slip inside the defender there, and now Souhegan's turn to diagnose what went wrong there as Benson comes out of the net and has a conference with her defenders. So 2-2 here, minute 24 to go first quarter. And again, it's been even on the scoreboard and even in the draw circle as well.
It's a battle of the defenses right now. They're all playing very tight.
Been Bouvier against Kennedy. Up in the air again. Stevenson had it. And Seguara knocks it loose. Stevenson now has it in her possession again.
third draw in a row for her.
Right. Another whistle here, and should have a restart behind the cage. Calling for it, Emmy Curran, closed out quickly by Reagan Lawton. Avery Curran still diagnosing here. Stall comp right in her face. 45 seconds to go first quarter. Souhegan looking for the lead again. Kennedy able to dodge two defenders and finish down the alley. A terrific move by Libby Kennedy as the junior faked out not one but two players there on her way to her first goal.
That's a pretty impressive dodge because not only did she beat her one-on-one defender, but then she went on and faced the backer of the defense and got around her too. So
2:32 of the period.
It seems that whenever Souhegan gets the draw, they've had a lot of success on offense. So I think going into this intermission, that'll be a key thing their coach will talk about.
Kennedy puts it in play again to the far side, and, well, Lawton took a shot there. Reagan holding her mouth. Souhegan comes up with it. Stevenson flips it over to Emmy Curran. Now Curran looking for some breathing room. Finds Avery Curran. Backdoor catch, fire. That one off target from Kennedy. On the doorstep, ball goes out of bounds behind the cage. And the clock continues to tick. Final 10 seconds here, first quarter. High mark. Avery Curran, near side, drops the shoulder and runs into a crowd of Clippers. That will do it for the first quarter. Sabres coming out swinging on their home turf. 3-2 over Portsmouth. The defending champs look to respond when we come back. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. Back here at the start of the second quarter in Amherst, Souhegan with a 3-2 lead over Portsmouth. Nick Anastas, Lindsay Holt with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Week number 2 statewide. Both these teams 1-0. This one, of course, a rematch of last year's state championship game in Division 1. And so far, Lindsay, the defense for both teams has been impressive.
Yeah, both teams are playing extremely good 1v1 defense, so it's important that they keep it up and that the offense on both sides gets a little more creative in ways to break through these tight defenses to ultimately score. But the draws also are looking great on both sides, so it's going to be a dogfight until the end.
Yeah, that was one of your keys, the draw circle. The first two went Portsmouth's way, and then Libby Kennedy of Souhegan, with some help on the wing from Izzy Stevenson, got hot, right?
Yep. And so I think whenever you can get the ball as many times as you can, it's important to possess it once you get it.
All right, teams are going to switch ends here. Souhegan in the home white will work right to left from our vantage point. Portsmouth in their road maroons are going to come left to right here. Vince Aguara going to scoop it herself and get another face-off win for her team after seemingly going cold there at the end of the quarter. We've seen 5 combined goals from 5 different goal scorers, as Portsmouth looks to once again tie the contest here, trailing 3-2. Temperature still a little brisk outside, about 49, 48 degrees. We had seen some nicer weather last week.
It was beautiful.
I thought we were in the clear, but
you never know. You never know.
Meanwhile, Vince Aguara going to come to her right. Swim move, shot, score. That's Reagan Lawton. A pretty spin. And then pulled the trigger from about 9 yards out to tie the game at 3. That's the first goal here so far in this first half for Reagan Lawton.
That was a great move. Super fast, super explosive. It looked like the defender had her, but she's just so quick. She had one extra step and shot at the right time, and that was a great take.
As you said, her and her twin sister Emery, they've been on the lacrosse radar, so to speak, for a long, long time now.
As long as I can remember, I've known there was these 2 twins coming out of Portsmouth, and they've been proving their name, and they're doing great so far.
Still both just juniors as well. Scary to think.
Crazy. I thought they were seniors, so can't wait to see what they have to do in their last 2 years.
This one up in the air, and a jump ball between Vince Aguara and Kennedy. Ends up this time with Emery Lawton, who was pushed upon pulling that one in. The officials noticed. Portsmouth given possession. First minute in the books here, second quarter. The Souhegan ride has been impressive. Portsmouth, though, cracks the code. And slowing things down is Maddie Houghton. Going to let the attack settle in here. 2 players behind the cage. Bouvier waves her offhand. Picked up on the switch, goal line extended. Flings it back out to Vince Aguara. Portsmouth hits the restart. Clippers looking for the lead. They struck first. Ginger Vince Aguara, the game's opening minute, gave the Clippers a 1-0 lead. Souhegan responded with 2 straight before Georgia Bouvier tied the game. Again, Souhegan led with Libby Kennedy late in that quarter as we get a shot and a score here, and things have gone back Portsmouth's direction. Emery Lawton follows up her sister's goal with one of her own here, just inside of 2 minutes gone by, second quarter. Clippers out in front again, 4-3.
Another super strong dodge from Portsmouth, and they just shoot it as soon as they get one step in front of the defender, and that seems to be doing the trick for them because the last 2 goals, they've done the same strategy, and it's worked for them.
How do you stop that defensively?
It's tough when that's a very frustrating thing because both times the Souhegan defenders have been right there, and they're just getting almost shot over, but they're just a step behind. They just have to make contact quicker to keep them out of the 8.
Easier said than done. Right?
Indeed, definitely.
Meanwhile, this has been fun to watch at midfield, because I think it's been exclusively Vince Aguara against Kennedy.
I think so too.
And that's the matchup here, and Kennedy does it by herself. So Souhegan, now 2 minutes gone by in the quarter. Once again, looking to tie the game here. It stayed tight, as we mentioned. Expect it to stay tight moving forward. Stevenson, tough pass there. It is backed up behind the cage and kept in bounds. Now back to the top. Stevenson gets it, fakes, looks for a cutter, and there it is. Kennedy able to pull that pass in from behind before she twirled and fired. Officials confirm we're tied at 4.
Kennedy is having a really good day, all-around threat, being a successful component on the draw for Souhegan, and then just scoring that last goal. So she is on par for a great game.
And her second goal of this first half. Team high 2 goals. And again, we've seen 4 different Clippers light the lamp in this first half. Souhegan has had a slight advantage, by my count anyway, 5-4 in the draw circle. Kennedy, after scoring a moment ago, this one gets behind her. One bounce into the stick of a running Reagan Lawton. Could be trouble, but Clipper Jr. gonna slow to a crawl here on the near side wing, get the personnel right. Coach Kerrigan roaming the sideline. Coach Suborni trying to keep in contact with the defense on the Souhegan sideline. Some quick passing here. Bouvier behind the net. Looking for a cutter, nobody home. Now Reagan Lawton given plenty of room up top. Back to Bouvier, goal line extended. Wants a one-on-one against the defender Bacon. Drops it behind the cage instead. Now back up top. 3 minutes in, second quarter. Clippers looking for the lead again. You can hear the talk defensively. Benson watching alertly in the net. Bouvier. Swung near side. And now back up for Vince Aguara, who scored the game's opening goal. Reagan Lawton. Spin, slide, shot, waved high, and out of play. And what is Souhegan doing here? Anything specific or just good communication and good execution?
I definitely think they're communicating well, and I think they're being patient in a sense that they know Portsmouth's got a dodge on them, but they're doing a good job staying patient and getting their footing right, so they're ready for it.
Lawton, shot and score. Somehow sneaks it in alongside that far post to give her team now a 5-4 lead with 4 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Meanwhile, the officials allowing the players here to gather, both Portsmouth and Souhegan talking things over after that extended possession.
Yeah, I think Portsmouth's been doing a good job with getting it in to the zone and kind of taking their time. Just like I said, there's no shot clock, so they can kind of work through it and pick their moments. And Souhegan's done a great job as well, stopping those fast breaks and not allowing them to get in front of them before they're also set up in their defense. So I think both sides are doing a good job of playing with their possessions correctly.
Well, two very well-coached teams, two established programs. Portsmouth, of course, did it a long time at the Division II level, made the jump, and got themselves into the championship game right away. They've won the last two D1 titles in both 24 and 25, hoping for a three-peat here with Coach Kerrigan. Portsmouth called for the violation. This one gives Souhegan the ball. And again, Sabres look to even the score. It's been either a tie or a one-goal game here so far throughout the first half. Meanwhile, Stevenson picked up on the switch. Her pass is high and now on the ground. Stallkamp is there. Portsmouth has it. The junior defender is going to clear it herself. Avery Curran hunts her down from behind and knocks the ball loose. Souhegan able to get to the ground ball, but the officials are going to reward this one to Portsmouth. A little too physical there on the swipe.
Yeah, the refs have been letting them play, it seems. I feel like it's been a little bit more physical than I anticipated, but I appreciate them letting them play, but also keeping it safe.
Yeah, kind of a rare whistle as we've had fast-moving first half.
I feel like we haven't had many of those.
Coming up at the midway point of this second quarter. Bouvier again given room. Good face dodge there, but nothing happening. Blankenship pushed out. Emery Lawton trying to split two. Releases there and was knocked down. And, yep, we've got a push here against Souhegan.
Right idea from Souhegan, crashing. All the defenders seem to be in on it, but just seems they needed to reel it in just a little bit and be a little bit more cautious of where their sticks are going on that one.
So this one, a free position shot for the junior Emery Lawton, who has scored once in this first half. Going to charge the net. That one's sent aside again by Benson. Benson has looked good at times in this first half. Her third stop unofficially. But again, Portsmouth gets to the ground ball. And now look to restart things with 2 players behind the net. Bouvier unguarded directly behind the cage, makes a move, and then fans it back out to the perimeter. Reagan Lawton off the screen. Vinciguara, a one-on-one. Back to Reagan Lawton. Trying to shake away from Kennedy, denied by Benson. Shot comes from straight away. Ground ball ends up with Souhegan, and we get a whistle. That was Eva Stiles, the senior who claimed it for Souhegan. Now the Sabres look to clear.
Souhegan's defense is playing very tough right now, and they're taking contact in all the right ways, and now they go down on offense.
Hickman going to slow it down as we hit the 5-minute mark here until halftime. 5-4 Portsmouth. We've gone back and forth as expected here in Amherst. Avery Curran. Over to Stevenson, and now Emmy Curran draws the second defender, has to backpedal. Being pushed out here by Vinciguara. The midfielder not giving an inch defensively. Pass nearly intercepted, but somehow kept alive by Avery Curran. Back up top to Stevenson. Again picked up on the switch. Looks for a long pass back door. Nobody home, and turned over.
Portsmouth did a good job getting a pretty on-ball heavy pressure there, so then they forced Souhegan to make a blind pass because they couldn't see over their defender.
Now trying to work is Aver Brunel. Brunel triple team near that far sideline, has to come back middle. And this one now on the run, rolling towards the net. Boussier is going to stab it behind her own net. Seen this Souhegan ride have success at times in this first half.
This ride is really high pressure and requires the middies to do a lot of running, so props to them on their conditioning. They look great.
Meanwhile, Brunel fans it ahead, and Portsmouth does get the clear. Houghton, little start and stop. Now starts again, comes down, and draws contact. Kennedy riding her on the hip there. Officials with a quick whistle. Portsmouth with a quick restart. Ball's back on the ground. Addie Delisle, the senior, is there for Portsmouth near the boundary. A little bit of a nudge there offered up by Souhegan's Maddie Ben, sophomore defender. And now again the Clippers with some breathing room here. Going to play catch along the outside as we move inside of 3 minutes to go until halftime. Coming up at halftime, stats, highlights, analysis, full recap, plus an out-of-town scoreboard on a Monday as Week 2 kicks off statewide. That's all coming up at halftime. Clippers looking for their first 2-goal lead of the game, but they won't get it here. It was stripped. Ball taken, though, right back by Emery Lawton. She is knocked down, and the officials are going to keep this with Portsmouth.
A lot of contact there.
Yeah. Emery Lawton got the worst of that contact. A little bit of a limp after getting back to her feet, but she's okay. And now going to be a tough angle here on a potential free position shot. Nearly goal line extended. Benson, meanwhile, communicating with the defense from inside the cage. Won't see a shot yet as Portsmouth looks for the pass. Up top it goes. Blankenship, good move. To her right, picked up by the second defender and steered towards the corner. This one high, in and out of the stick of Houghton. Houghton, though, able to recover. Now pull it back out. It's actually Lily Patterson, not Houghton. And now Patterson draws the contact. Patterson, of course, a member of this senior class. Made up of 7 seniors set to graduate in just a couple of months. So Patterson, with defenders to her left and right, set for the 4th free position shot of this first half for Portsmouth. Charges, and this one saved belt high by Benson. Handful of stops now for the Souhegan goaltender. A quick outlet to boot. And a quick clear. Thrown ahead. Emmy Curran's pass. Too strong, but kept in bounds here on the near sideline. Hickman, good hustle. Final 40 seconds until the break, and we are going to get, I believe, a timeout from Coach Sportoni. Yep. Timeout Souhegan. That'll freeze the clock with 41 seconds remaining here until halftime. Our broadcast is brought to you by the New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Find out more at nhtomahawks.com and also girls.nhtomahawks.com. Of course, also by Beals Insurance, locations in Bedford, Londonderry, and Epping. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. By MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally, by Jewett Construction. Come join us to build something great. Proud sponsors of their trades scholarship programs. So apply now at JewettConstruction.com. Nick Anastas, Lindsay Holt with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks, a rematch of last year's Division I state championship game on the girls' side. Portsmouth and Souhegan. Clippers got off to an early start, scored in the opening minute, and then really, Lindsay, it's been back and forth ever since. Punch, counter punch, so to speak, exactly how we like it here on FNL Lacrosse.
Yeah, and for it being week 2, this is just amazing to see how fast and physical and skilled this game has been so far. So the fact that this is only both the teams' second games, I can't wait to see how they are come June.
Well, still 41 seconds here, so Coach Kerrigan hoping to draw something up her team can execute. And Portsmouth looking for a little bit of breathing room going into the locker room. Big difference, or not, between a 2-goal and a 1-goal game at halftime psychologically. What do you think?
I definitely think in these last 41 seconds, considering Portsmouth just had a timeout to kind of discuss what they want to do, and I think definitely trying to keep this to a 1-goal game going into the half. You want to hold them off for 41 seconds, which in theory doesn't seem too difficult, but 41 seconds, a lot can happen, so we want Portsmouth to come out with some strong defense and see if they can battle what Souhegan just drew up.
You can see the Portsmouth veteran goaltender, senior Sage Boussier, head on a swivel already here, trying to communicate with her teammates here, looking to control the defense for the final 41 seconds. Souhegan open to tie the game. Kennedy spins away from one, whistle before the shot went in. And the officials aren't going to count that, I don't believe, saying there was a foul first. Comes with 31 seconds. The defender in a conversation with the official. That's Maddie Houghton. So they're going to give Libby Kennedy, looks like a free position shot here from 12 meters out. Kennedy a chance to tie the game, but won't. Boussier makes the high save to keep it 5-4.
That's a huge save.
Boussier saw it the whole way. Comes out of the cage now, looking on the pass, though. It's knocked down. 15 seconds.
There's that Souhegan ride.
Yep. They force another turnover. They get the ground ball. It's Stevenson on the near side. The junior runs out of room. Goes up top. Hickman. Good dodge. Shot. No. Won't beat the buzzer as the bouncer is denied once again by Boussier. That'll bring us to halftime. 5-4 Portsmouth, the champs, being tested here on the road in game number 2. Quick halftime. We're back before you know it. Second half in less than 8 minutes. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Well, start of the second half here in Amherst. Portsmouth leading Souhegan by a score of 5-4. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Nick and Astis, Lindsay Holt with you. Competitive, Lindsay, in that first half, just as we expected.
Yeah, I called it. I thought it was going to be a tennis match, and it looks like it's just we're going to go goal for goal until the end.
Defense, very good. We saw kind of a man-to-man look from the Sabres primarily defensively in that first half, and then the zone from Portsmouth. Any changes expected, or?
No, I don't think at least I wouldn't make any changes if I were the coaches, but because I think they were doing all that they could do, and the goalies on both sides are making all the saves that they should be. So I think the defense just keeps up the pressure and keeps playing clean defense to keep both the teams off the line.
Ginger Vitzagora and Libby Kennedy have been in the draw circle exclusively so far this afternoon. Vitzagora for Portsmouth and Kennedy for Souhegan. Meanwhile, the officials finally breaking away from the scores table and approaching midfield, so we are set to resume here. Souhegan going to head left to right and Portsmouth right to left. It was Vince Aguara who lit the lamp to get Portsmouth on the board first. That came in the game's first 41 seconds. Wasn't long, though, before Souhegan had an answer from Avery Curran and then took the lead with Lanai Hickman on a free position shot late in the first quarter. Underway here in the third quarter. And it's Portsmouth who has it. Reagan Lawton scored twice in that first half. Going to slow things down. Flips it over to Vince Aguara. 3-2 Souhegan. That was our score after the first quarter. Georgia Bouvier tied the game. And then the Lawton sisters checked in. Reagan Lawton, Emery Lawton. 4-3 Portsmouth at that point. Kennedy got a second to tie the game at 4 early in the third quarter. And then the final 8:01 was scoreless as the defense once again came to the forefront. Getting set for the restart here. No, he got a free position.
Shooting space call.
Yep. We saw a couple of those violations against Portsmouth. We see one now against Souhegan. Emery Lawton going to go top shelf, and it's a 6-4 game. Lawton's second, and it's the first 2-goal advantage for either team here in the game.
I think that might tend to start to be a theme with both these offenses, drawing those free position shots, just because both defenses are playing such tight 1v1s. Those opportunities aren't coming from just a 1v1 take, so they're either going to try and draw a foul or start getting some assisted shots in. Comes
with just over a minute gone by in the third quarter, so both the Lawton twins with 2 goals each for Portsmouth. Vince Aguara and Bouvier, the other 2 goals for the Clippers. And again, it's been Kennedy who has led the way with 2 of her own for Souhegan.
This is a big draw for Souhegan to get some momentum back.
You can hear both sidelines amped up. This one up for grabs. Poked ahead by Reagan Lawton and scoops it up just in front of the 30-yard line. Boussier helping out on the clear. Goaltender flings it to her right. Stallkamp lofts it down the middle, trying to find Vince Aguara. It's on the ground, and Avery Curran comes out of nowhere to grab it for Souhegan.
Souhegan's ride is just relentless right now. They're all over that place.
They produced several turnovers here, including one there. Now again, the attack going to show some patience here. Down 2 for the first time. And again, both teams were held off the scoreboard for the final 8+ minutes before the half. Good shots have been hard to come by. Here comes Emmy Curran, draws a slide and draws a whistle.
Looks like a little crossbody check from Portsmouth there.
The defender was Reagan Lawton. The action restarts. Back door. This one knocked down. Scooped up, though, by Souhegan. Stevenson Back pedals out of a crowd, comes forward again. Looks for the cutter. Kennedy shot those wide. Bouncing effort goes left of target, out of play, far corner. Good hustle by Heinrich to get to it for Souhegan. Restart. Near side for Kennedy. Closed down by Vince Aguara. Triple teamed up top Stevenson. Shot fake. Draws Reagan Lawton out. Tries to find a little running room to her right. Picked up off the switch by Vince Aguara. Heaves it back up top. Emmy Curran testing the waters. Nowhere to go. Avery Curran tries to do the same to her left. Again picked up off the switch. Emery Lawton is with her. And a little bit of a cross-check there against Lawton. The push draws the whistle, and now we get a restart, goal line extended. And too many defenders there. Ball comes out. Emmy Curran knocked down. And ultimately, Portsmouth forces a turnover.
A lot of pressure from Portsmouth defense there. That's the beauty of the backer. They can kind of afford to put a lot of on-ball pressure with the knowledge of someone's behind them to back them up as well.
Meanwhile, this is Blankenship trying to do it herself. Got knocked away. Some of the Sabre fans didn't like the call. Clippers restarting their own end. Ava Burrows, one of the 7 seniors for Portsmouth. Burrows trying to escape 2 defenders here. Meanwhile, 4 minutes gone by, third quarter. Clippers with their largest lead of the afternoon, 6-4, looking to add to that here on this trip. Benson in the net. Senior stopped 5 shots unofficially in that first half. Hoping your defense can force a turnover here. Vince Segura comes middle, fires from the hip. That one flies over the crossbar, out of play.
So Hegan's playing great 1v1 defense, forcing Portsmouth to take those wide outside shots, which is really what you want to see, especially I know the goalies are appreciating those wide shots. Gives them some time to react.
Meanwhile, the temperature has dropped rather significantly from game time. We had 49 degrees on the thermometer a little over an hour ago. Now the temperature in the low 40s. Opening, well, not quite opening week, second week of action statewide. Meanwhile, surrounded is Bouvier. There's no whistle. Now we get one. And it goes against Portsmouth.
These refs really letting the girls play today.
Pushing there in the pile. And ultimately it's the Clippers called for the violation. So Souhegan will look to work against the Portsmouth ride here. And came across the top there. A little violation. They've gotten a piece of the goggles. Now on the restart. This one takes an awkward bounce, gets away from Sophie Jacobs, the junior. Now Jacobs with a one-hand catch from Benson. Finds a teammate at midfield, and there's the clear. Stiles gets it over. Sabres have not scored in now over 14 minutes here, Lindsay. What can they do?
I think one thing they need to work on is just moving the ball a little bit faster and trying to find where the defender is. Since Portsmouth isn't a backer, so you want to try and find the backside where that backer would be in a man, so you need to move the ball a little bit faster.
There's a pass out in front, but it's rejected. Defender got a piece of it, and it ends up bouncing into the goaltender's stick. Boussier, short pass up the middle. Emery Lawton, little jab step, finds room to her right, draws a second defender. And then this pass is dropped in the middle of the field. Scooped up by Brunel. Brunel with Boussier to her right. Boussier takes over. Again, Portsmouth having difficulty here against this Souhegan ride.
So Hegan looks to be in some sort of drop-back zone ride to kind of clog the middle and make it harder for them to get through.
They find the hole in the zone there. Pass goes over the top. Emery Lawton finds safer ground on that far wing as we move inside of 5 minutes to go, third quarter. Clippers playing with the lead, 6-4. Had a back and forth first half. A 5-4 game at halftime, just one goal since. Emery Lawton a few moments ago on a free position shot. Scored her second goal for Portsmouth. Meanwhile, you can hear both head coaches issuing instructions from the sideline here. Communication has been good. Reagan Lawton, little spin move, draws the attention of a slider. The goal line extended for Bouvier back up top for Reagan Lawton. Given room by Kennedy. Near side Bouvier, Emery Lawton, bodied up. It's the defender, I think, Hickman. Second defender comes over. Somebody's open. Bouvier across the top. Ball knocked down. Loose in the slot. Still loose on the near wing. Ball is skyward now before it goes to Bouvier. Inside of 4 minutes remaining. Third quarter.
Souhegan's defense is doing a great job in putting a lot of pressure, but also being there for the slides when the 1v1s get beat.
You mentioned the game has taken a physical tone. Emery Lawton knocked down, lost her headpiece on the play.
And no call. There's a shooting space call. Good play by Reagan.
So Reagan Lawton, 12 meters out, a chance for a hat trick. More importantly, hoping to put Portsmouth up 3. The goaltender is Molly Benson. Shot wide. Had some speed to it, but off target. Portsmouth backs it up. They find Vince Aguara immediately, and there's Benson, who stones her at the doorstep.
Another great save by Benson. Souhegan's defense is doing a really good job keeping Portsmouth off the board as much as they can, so now they just need their offense to get in and start executing.
Benson hooks up with Bacon, and then Bacon is stripped. Reagan Lawton got her cleanly. Lawton down the middle. Lawton shot and score. May have beaten Benson 5-hole there. Either way, it's her third goal. The hat trick gives Portsmouth a 3-goal lead, 7-4, with 2:41 to go in the third.
We haven't seen a lot of fast break goals today, and I think that had been one of the first semi-fast breaks, at least. They got it at the 20, but pretty quick move by Reagan and good shot and good finish.
And we've given quite a bit of attention to that Souhegan ride, and rightfully so, but this time it's the Portsmouth ride that produces a turnover and a transition goal.
Yeah, that was a great play by Portsmouth, putting a lot of pressure and getting the ball back, especially after missing that free position. They needed that regain of possession and ultimately led to a goal.
7-4, largest lead for the Clippers. Souhegan looking for a response here. It's been Kennedy against Vince Aguara all afternoon, and this time Vince Aguara plucks it out of the sky. Portsmouth wins another draw.
Portsmouth been dominating on the draw this second half. It's playing a role, as you can see on the scoreboard.
We've had the possession, time of possession, in their favor. Meanwhile, Blankenship steered toward the corner. Good piece of defense there by Maddie Ben. Now Reagan Lawton will slow everything to a crawl here as we approach 2 minutes to go, third quarter. Clippers looking to double up Souhegan with a goal here.
I think a key for the Souhegan's defense the rest of the game is just trying to keep Portsmouth off the line. That's where they've tended to have a lot of success.
Well, Vince Aguara given a little bit of room by Stevenson. Blankenship. And now Addie Delisle. Closed out. Sophie Jacobs within a stick length. Benson raises her stick over her head in cage. Portsmouth now looking for something up top here with Reagan Lawton. Back door for Emery Lawton. Good defense again. Emmy Curran holds her ground. Nowhere to go for Bouvier, and now back up top yet again. More patience here from the Clipper attack. Reagan Lawton draws two, drops it over the top, and Vince Aguara does the rest. Pretty pass there. Vince Aguara with room to catch and fire, and all of a sudden it's an 8-4 Portsmouth lead with less than a minute to go here in the third.
That was like a textbook two-man game from Portsmouth. They drew both defenders, and she chopped it right over her defender's head to her open player who shot it and scored. Great play.
So Vince Aguara gets her second. Another assist for Reagan Lawton, and it's 8-4. Portsmouth has scored 3 straight here in the third quarter. Scored the final goal before halftime as well, so 4 in a row dating back to the second quarter for the Clippers.
Souhegan really needs to get this draw to get some momentum going before they enter the fourth quarter.
So far, the 2 since halftime have both gone to Vince Aguara. Kennedy hoping to turn it around here. And it's Vince Aguara able to pull that one in overhead.
She has been dominant on the draw today.
Did it one-handed there impressively. Final 45 seconds. Clippers threatening to add another. Their lead is ballooned up to 4. Vince Aguara. Reagan Lawton. Goal line extended. Bouvier flips it behind the cage. A 2-man game. Delisle taken over by Patterson. Patterson comes near side. Reagan Lawton with shooting room. Thought about it. Down to 20 seconds. Try the other side. Vince Aguara now back near side wing. Reagan Lawton looking for Vince Aguara. Pass is off target and turned over behind the net. 10 seconds to go. Souhegan with 5 seconds. Not going to get a restart off, and that's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. A big quarter for the defending champions, Portsmouth. They put 3 more on the scoreboard to make it an 8-4 contest as we head to the final frame. Is that enough? Is that lead big enough to hold for the Clippers? Or does Souhegan find some magic on their home field? We find out next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Got an 8-4 game here as we head to the fourth quarter in Amherst. Nick Anastas, Lindsay Holt with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Just a 1-goal difference at halftime, but Portsmouth able to add 3 more in that third quarter. Emery Lawton, Reagan Lawton, and then Ginger Vince Aguara. Meanwhile, the Portsmouth defense, Lindsay, has held strong. They have kept Souhegan off the board since the 8-minute mark in the second quarter.
Yeah, they've been putting a lot of pressure on ball and kind of making it really hard to find that open person on the backside. So I think that's been a real key to their success. So I think it's very important that Souhegan on offense just moves the ball a little bit faster to try to catch the backer on the offside and try to catch them off guard and get the feed to the open person. Meanwhile,
possessions in that third quarter hard to come by for Souhegan as Vince Aguara has gotten hot in the draw circle for Portsmouth.
Yeah, they won a majority of the draws in the last quarter, so Souhegan needs to come up with some possessions this quarter to make a comeback.
It's been exclusively Vince Aguara against Kennedy. Shadows growing long as the sun begins to set here in southern New Hampshire. Temperature dropping a bit as well. This one a foot race to the far side. The officials going to call a violation against Portsmouth. Souhegan, a quick restart, too quick, as the referees say, let's bring it back.
That's the right idea, though. Now they're working against the clock. They got to go as fast as they can.
Long pass taken by Avery Curran. Back up top for Emmy. It's been that backer zone defensive look for Portsmouth that has stymied Souhegan.
Very successful.
As we mentioned, kept the Sabres off the board in that third quarter. Kennedy trying to change that, runs into a defender. Houghton got the worst of the collision. They're going to give a free position shot to the Sabres.
Looks like the ref had their flag up before the Portsmouth player fell.
So the officials trying to direct defensive traffic here before they give the green light. Libby Kennedy too far out for a shot. Instead, a dodge to her right. Going to fire on the run. That one may have hit the crossbar. It was either Boussier, the goaltender, who got a piece, or it hit the crossbar. Either way, Souhegan off the restart. Ball ends up on the ground. Avery Curran scoops up the ground ball in the corner. The Sabres will keep it at this end. Fakes the pass. Shot. Boussier, definitely a save there, but we got an infraction on the release. Free position shot definitely on the way now for Souhegan's Emmy Curran.
This is a huge chance for Souhegan.
Sophomore midfielder has played well today. Trying to go low, and that one may have hit the post. This one loose near side, and now the officials call it against the defense. It'll be Clipper possession. 2 minutes gone by, fourth quarter. Still an 8-4 Portsmouth lead. Here comes Reagan Lawton. Zigzagging her way to midfield. Protects the ball. Still going. Full speed here. Avoids Hickman's back check and now slows down inside the 30 on the near wing. Clippers get the stop. They get the clear. Now a chance to build perhaps a 5.5 goal lead for the first time today.
I think the Souhegan defense can afford to start taking some chances now that they need the ball back more than anything, and they need 4 goals to make it a tie game. So I think they need to step outside their comfort zone and try to go for something like an interception or a check of some sort cleanly.
Well, that was going to be my next question. How aggressive do you want to get here down by 4? It's been a pretty well officiated game. A lot of the contact has gone unwhistled. The referees apparently giving the players the benefit of the doubt. But if you're Souhegan, you've got to come out, to your point, and challenge at this juncture, right?
I definitely think at this point, knowing how the game has been called, you can kind of afford to go a little extended with your movements so you can see what the refs will take and what not, especially if you're going as far out as the 12. The least you'll get is a foul outside the 8-meter.
Instead, we get a shot.
And that's what we need from Souhegan defense, to just force those outside shots. That makes it easy for Benson to see.
It was Houghton on the offering, Benson on the save, but now a turnover behind the cage as the Clipper ride really has gotten stronger over the course of the game. And it leads to a goal.
That's great pressure from Portsmouth and not giving up on the play.
Goal comes from that far side, trying to get the number. I believe it was Lily Patterson, the senior. Either way, it's a Clipper score, and that's their 5th in a row. So Patterson, her first goal, makes it 9-4.
Souhegan really needs this draw and a goal to help stop the bleed that Portsmouth is on. They're on a tear right now.
So it is Patterson. We get the confirmation. And, well, another different Portsmouth goal scorer. It's been the Lawton twins who have led the way, as we expected. Reagan with a hat trick. Emery right behind her with 2 goals. Vince Aguara with 2 as well. And now Patterson gets her name in the scorer's book. Face-off goes to Souhegan, a much-needed win. Stevenson, though, in trouble, draws a whistle. 4 minutes in. Clock starting to become a factor here. Biggest margin of the game on the board with the Clippers out in front 9-4.
Souhegan's been doing a good job with drawing these fouls, but they need to make sure they're getting closer into the 8 so they can start getting some 8-meter shots.
Instead, this one restarted from 15 meters out. This one dropped by Emmy Curran. They've taken her eye off it. Reagan Lawton is right there to force the issue. That ball still bouncing, and we get a push in front of the Sabre bench.
That's a good call by the referee to keep it clean. That was a pretty tough cross-check.
Meanwhile, Avery Curran trying to hook up with Sophie Jacobs. Instead, turned over. Here comes Patterson at full speed for Portsmouth. 2 defenders there for Souhegan. Patterson is ridden all the way behind the cage. Going to swoop around now with a little bit of room. Gives it over to Bouvier, and Portsmouth is back in charge here with 5 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter. Sabres fighting a two-front war here, the clock and the opponent. Portsmouth knows it. They're going to take their time here.
Yeah, this where having the no shot clock kind of hurts you just because Souhegan now needs to be in a need ball situation.
There's Emery Lawton. Gets a hat trick of her own. Goes high to low there to beat Benson, and we've got a 10-4 game.
That was a great take by Emery.
That shot had plenty of speed on it. And now the run extends to 6 unanswered for Portsmouth. As the champs starting to flex their muscles here a little bit. Both teams, as we mentioned, earned opening day victories last week. And today's game just the second on the schedule for each of these teams. But Lindsay, in my amateur opinion, they look like they're in mid-season form today, especially both defenses.
I was thinking the same thing. Like I said earlier, the fact this is only the second game, a lot to come for both these teams throughout the season.
Souhegan earned an 18-1 victory back on Friday in their season opener. And Portsmouth doubled up Pinkerton with an impressive 16-8 win that was also back on Friday. Meanwhile, we are nearing the midway point here of the fourth quarter. And we have another push whistled. Coach Bordone near midfield here as we get, I think, a penalty against Souhegan.
Yeah, it looked like it seemed to be either some sort of an illegal check or looked like a pretty physical cross check. So either one of those usually warrants a yellow card.
Yeah, that's the first yellow card call we've seen today after what had been a pretty physical first half. A physical first 3 quarters.
It's a good goal by number 11.
That's Patterson getting hot here. Both of her scores have come in this fourth quarter. Another one. Oh, that boosts the score now to 11-4, just past the midway point fourth quarter.
I feel like we've been saying a lot of different names for the Clippers offense. Pretty well-rounded this evening.
Yeah. One of the deeper teams, as we know.
It's always good to have a lot of depth.
Under head coach JoJo Kerrigan, they've won back-to-back titles in Division I, looking for a three-peat this season. Still 6 minutes to play here, but Portsmouth in a strong spot to open up this campaign with their second victory. So Souhegan hoping to turn it around, starting right here. New player in the draw circle, that's Emmy Curran, taking over for Libby Kennedy, excuse me. Vince Aguara. It's been magnificent, has won many of the draws herself, including that one. Stallkamp tracks it down in her own end. Boussier going to help out on the clear. Far side. Brunel to change direction. Hook up here with Barrows. Barrow's got a clear path to midfield. Wins the foot race, draws a second defender near the sidelines, reverses direction, and her pass knocked down. Stallkamp absorbs the check, comes up with it. Going to backtrack again. 3 Sabres in pursuit, including Hickman, the closest to her. Hickman going to chase her behind the Portsmouth goal and force it out. Yep, the official's going to give it to Souhegan. So Hickman's defensive effort pays off. As again the Sabre ride forces a turnover.
Their efforts have stayed very consistent on the ride throughout the whole game, so that's one thing that Souhegan has been really succeeding in today.
However, the Sabre attack has been well, not heard from since early in the second quarter. Their last goal came at the 8-minute mark before halftime. As this Clipper defense has seemingly improved over the course of the game.
Playing a backer is probably pretty rare to go against, so seeing this in your second game, they probably didn't see it in their first game, so it's definitely something they'll probably work on after this game for this week of practice.
Well, as you said, that's one of the harder defensive looks to execute, right?
Yep, and it's, especially if you haven't played against it a lot, it's pretty hard to beat it on offense, especially if you have never really worked on it as a unit before, so it takes a lot of IQ and chemistry to both execute and beat.
Meanwhile, Stevenson up top. Emmy Curran, dodge to her right, stops, comes back to her left. But again, can't find an opening. Does hear a whistle. And it's against Portsmouth. The defenders don't like the explanation. Meanwhile, clock ticking inside of 4 minutes here. The 7-goal lead is the largest of the afternoon. It was a 1-goal difference at halftime. Portsmouth led Souhegan 5-4.
Portsmouth continue to find their groove quarter in after quarter.
Avery Curran in some trouble, but helped out by the officials. Caught a stick on the shoulder there.
The Portsmouth defense is playing pretty physical, but with the backer, they're out so extended that they can kind of take those risks like Souhegan should be doing, but they're taking them outside the 8, which is good for them, letting Souhegan restart at the 12.
Curran gets inside of Insiguara, draws a slide from Houghton. Up top for Stevenson. Back door, trying to find Kennedy in a crowd. Kennedy somehow got the shot off. It goes high. Two and a half to go. Reminder, after the game, stats, highlights, analysis. Out-of-town scoreboard. This one whistled on the shot there as Hickman was initially denied by Boussier. But now Hickman set for a free position shot.
Looks like she's going to take a rip of a shot right here.
Yeah, from 12 meters to your point. Lanai Hickman a chance to change that and does. A blazing bullet there. A step down shot makes it 11-5, and that breaks the second half ice for Souhegan.
That was a great shot, and one of the most lethal skills that you can have in your toolbox is a good step down shot, especially when you have an 8-meter that you need to make.
So Hickman cashes in. That's another different goal scorer for Souhegan. They've had 5, including Hickman. So 11-5. But again, Souhegan just about out of time here with a little over 100 seconds to play.
Just see if their defense can hold them for this last minute and 42 seconds.
Well, the home sideline still amped up, still engaged. Coach Bordone's got to like that. This one in the air. Kennedy is back in the draw circle. Vince Aguara gets to it first for Portsmouth. And is now given the green light on the restart. For her own end, little scoop pass. Looks up with Brunel. Brunel showing the speed in her own end, coming near side. Being hacked down by Kennedy and poked there up near the headgear.
Yeah, any face contact is almost always a yellow card.
Yeah, they're going to pull out the card, and it's going to be the second yellow card against Souhegan. So Kennedy to the box with 1:22 to go. Clippers looking to run out the final 82 seconds here. Brunel awaiting the restart. Now Brunel will play catch with Boussier. Back to Brunel. That pass too strong. Ends up on the ground, turned over to Stevenson. Souhegan has it, minute 10 to go. Stevenson draws the attention of Houghton, the defender. Long pass. Hickman couldn't catch. Reagan Lawton, another ground ball for Portsmouth. The juniors look good in that department as well. She's got a hat trick to her credit. She's going to slow things down here on the offensive end with inside of a minute to go. Emery Lawton going to take over now. Going to walk unchallenged on that far side. So Portsmouth, they had a 1-goal lead at halftime, 5-4. And then the defense really stepped up their game, kept Souhegan off the board most of the second half. And they're going to walk across the finish line here. What is looking more and more like an 11-5 victory.
For a defense to let up only 5 goals is a very impressive stat for them to walk away with.
Good for one more here in the final seconds. Whistle's going to stop the clock with 5 seconds remaining. And we may or may not see a final shot. Either way, it's going to be a Clipper win. Pass out in front, knocked away, and that will do it. Portsmouth on the road with their first road win of the season and improved to 2-0 by beating Souhegan here in Amherst by a final score of 11-5. Be back on the road on Wednesday when they take on Winnicott, and then on the road on Friday as well. So 3 road games this week for Portsmouth. Souhegan, they get a chance to rebound right here on their home field against Hollis Brookline coming up on Thursday. Coming up in just about 3 minutes, we'll wrap this thing up. Post game coming up next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Well, final score 11-5 here in Amherst. Portsmouth with the victory over Souhegan in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Nick Anastas, Lindsay Holtz with you. Portsmouth now 2-0. Souhegan falls to 1-1. Well, the Clippers got off on the right foot. Ginger Vinciguara, who won the majority of the face-off draws for her team tonight, also scored the opening goal in the first minute. Portsmouth led 1-0. Souhegan came back. Avery Curran made it 1-1, and then it was 2-1 quickly after that on a free position shot for Lanai Hickman. That second goal for Souhegan came late in the quarter. Final minute, first quarter. Georgia Bouvier tied the game at 2 for Portsmouth, and then just a few seconds later, Souhegan had the answer. Libby Kennedy, 3-2 Souhegan after the first quarter. Portsmouth, though, got rolling. Reagan Lawton and then Emery Lawton, 3-3, 4-3 in that order, just 2 minutes into the second quarter. Although Kennedy came back with her second for the home team to tie the game at 4. Portsmouth took a 5-4 lead on Reagan Lawton's second goal less than a minute later. Then the final 8 minutes before halftime went scoreless. We had a 5-4 game at the break with the Clippers out in front. Third quarter, when that defense really came alive, the ride looked good for Portsmouth, and the attack did their thing as well. Emery Lawton's second, Reagan Lawton's third, and then Vinciguara's second in that order pumped the lead up to 8-4 going into the fourth. The ride, the run continued in that final quarter. Lily Patterson, Emery Lawton again, Patterson again. 11-4, the high water mark. Souhegan saved some face in the final 2 minutes as Lanai Hickman lit the lamp on a free position shot. So that's where we finish. 11-5 Portsmouth. They win. They're on the road again later this week with 2 more road contests. Souhegan, as we mentioned, with a home game over Hollis Brookline coming up next on Thursday. Lindsay, your final thoughts on what we saw here between 2 championship contenders in Division 1.
A lot of good things from both sides. I definitely think Portsmouth really found their groove as they continued from, honestly, what was from the first draw all the way through. And I think on the counter for Souhegan, their defense looked outstanding, and I definitely think their offense just has some things to work through, especially with if they face a backer later on the season. But good news is that it's super early in the season, so they have plenty of time to work on it and just continue to grow and get better.
Is this, in your view, perhaps a championship preview, or are there other contenders that may have something to say about that?
Considering this is one of the first games I've seen of the season, I definitely would not be surprised if I see this matchup later in June. So, but definitely still a lot of lacrosse to play, and who knows, someone could have an outbreak season and change the predictions.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, and we're going to look forward to, I hope, someday having you back on as we move forward here. But my normal broadcast partner should be back for our next girls broadcast. Of course, that's Kristen Cameron. All right, want to thank Kelly Braley here, the athletic director at Souhegan, for helping me out throughout the week, get this thing set up. And, of course, her extension on the ground, Ben Arnold, did a great job as well. Appreciate both Kelly and Ben. Look forward to coming back here to Souhegan High School. I want to thank the sponsors as well, the New Hampshire Tomahawks, Beals Insurance, MG Sports Fundraising, and Jewett Construction. And, of course, got to thank the crew, as we had, 2 top-rate videographers again, bringing you the sights and sounds. Matt Beals down in the trench, Kristen Beals upstairs in the pilot's nest. For the director the man behind the curtain, the wizard of replay, my man Ben Beals, back in the Beals Insurance Studios, and executive producer Steve Beals, for my partner, Lindsay Holt. My name is Nick Anastas, saying so long. Final score, final time, Portsmouth 11, Souhegan 5. This has been a presentation of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.